But when you do an experiment, you're doing a test. You're testing a question that you have. So your question might be, when I drop this ball, does it fall towards the ground? I'm going to test it. Okay, that time it did, but I want to do more tests to see what happens. So you do it over and over. So then you're doing an experiment. So remember, when you observe, you're noticing things. And when you're doing an experiment, you're testing something to figure out a question that you have. Scientists have a lot of questions. They're always wondering, they're always trying to figure out how things work. And really what makes something science is how you go about it. So maybe you're just laying outside, just enjoying the day. If you're just laying there, that might not be science. But if you're laying there observing the clouds, you're noticing things about them and seeing what they're doing, then that would be science. So you are a scientist. What about when you go outside at night and you study the stars or the moon? Do you think you're a scientist then? Yes, you are. How about if you watch a storm roll in and you observe or you notice how the clouds come together and when, at what point where the clouds are when it starts to rain? Yes, you're a scientist. Or maybe when it rains, you have a rain gauge out there and you collect all the rain and then you can measure how much rain you got. So if you're taking measurements, you're doing science. What about when you're outside on the playground? Maybe you are pushing someone on the swing and you think, what if I push them a little bit harder? What if a little bit softer? What happens? What changes? So if you do these things to observe what happens, then you're a scientist. Same with this car. If I take this car and I push it lightly, okay, it rolled a little bit. But what happens if I push it harder? I push it harder. It went a little farther. Now I'm a scientist. I'm thinking like a scientist. What about baking? Do you think that you can be a scientist when you're baking? Well, if you're mixing ingredients and you're seeing what happens, you're observing, you're noticing what happens, you're a scientist. What if you mix water with different things to see what happens? Like you put some oil and some water to see if they mix together or if they separate. Now you're a scientist. How about if you pour some juice in the water? What do you think happens? If you're asking questions and you're doing experiments and you're observing what happens, you're a scientist. So all day long, you can be a scientist. All you have to do